Hi, it's Joy and today I'm going to be watching Roswell, New Mexico, Season 3, Episode 9, Tones of Home. So excited, so stressed. The end of the last well, the whole of the last episode was a Malik's dream. But you know, happening in episode 8, there is that part of me that's like, we're gonna suffer now, aren't we? But we have the pod, Max is in Jones's body, everything is going, Jones knows they have Max, Jones read some of the I'm just stressed. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon. I don't need to go over everything that happened. You've all seen it and I'm excited. Let's go. All tones of home. Are the tones going to be the Lockhart machine? Also, I'm really stressed that I don't know that we've seen the last of that funeral. Definitely not of the people that attacked Kyle and Maria. Or at least attacked Kyle. He was keeping Max clones in pods ready for whenever he needed them. Is that it? And so she made it so that he couldn't, because he was so, they were empty cells. Oh dear. How many bodies is he leaving with the handprint? Because Project Shepherd is closed down, but if there's suddenly like a serial killer again going around killing people. Oh no. Like, if there's suddenly loads of dead bodies turning up with handprints on them, someone else is going to start investigating the aliens. And we don't need the stress.
Swapping bodies with an evil dictator sort of takes it out of a guy.
Okay.
For 2 days.
Tell me you have at least taken a nap.
We've got Max out of the pod. That is something.
Microscope time. If we can swap them into their rightful bodies and sever the psychic tether between them, we can both save Max and be free to kill Jones.
Yes, please.
You're talking about bringing in the guy you got under in order to get over Max in on our secret?
Booty call.
Hey.
Oh, I missed you, Max. Though I do feel like whenever he turned up, even though Jones' acting wasn't quite that good, I'd try and test him. Kyle! Kyle, my love, I'm so glad you're okay. And do you know you have an uncle? You have an uncle.
My brother and I got him killed, and I will not do the same to you. Hey,
that's how you choose to
say something like that and just walk away.
Yeah.
You better add a little context to that sentence.
I've been thinking a lot about the clues.
Peak Isabel.
Can we maybe think of...
And I can't believe that I'm about to say this. They hatched. In which case they come out kind of...
Hello. How's the office, honey? I'm a little distracted with these dials.
I love them so much.
You know I love when you talk Cody to me. I'm calling because I want to be careful with the brain melter.
Yes. And I'm eating my Wheaties. Yeah, I mean, it's not funny. Look, promise me you won't take extra credit with the alien phone. Because I know you've been working late. I dropped off the Crashdown's new grilled ham DeLorean and cheese Sammy's. Respectfully left them inside the door so the coyotes wouldn't snag them. Thank you very much.
They are everything. They are everything.
Okay, I actually called. Have fun. Don't lose track of time. I am not going to forget our very first real in public date. Goodbye.
Nothing. Alex, leave the machine right now. 15 minutes is up. Walk away. And you're gonna have a date. You're gonna have a date. You need to get to your date. Oh, that was the start of his freaking window, not the end. I'm stressed.
If you're seeing me, senior year in you, first invited yourself along on the process of changing all the tires.
13 years later?
I love them. I'm so glad we have Max again. And oh no. This is the last person I wish to see. Please tell me Arturo's not here, because he'll be like, Max! Oh, did we really leave this right here? Oh god. Liz! Better security, please! Maybe, but it's very dangerous bringing anybody new into the fold. I like her a lot, but she's a journalist. And I think she seems to have like an honor code. I don't think if she were to find out the truth, she would immediately write a story. But anyone new in any show, I'm like suspicious.
That she investigates lies for a living, and I literally live one?
For what it's worth, she did come in here asking about you the other night.
Okay, day Louise died.
Meaning that's the day your pods opened up.
Same day, same afflictions as Max, Michael, and I.
Oh my god.
Look.
If I have
There's another one?
Harm came to them. One walked into the Rio Grande, drowned. Another stepped into traffic.
Oh god.
What does the machine do to make you lose your way?
I won't.
Alex, never come back here, please. Tell Michael right now.
But we're not kids anymore, so I just gotta say the hard things.
Yes, yes you do.
Chips fall where they may. I was a coward back then.
Max.
Walk forward and not back.
This is necessary. We're very open right now. Can she sense someone's in there? Holy shit. I'm very stressed. And like, there's a genuine part of me that's like, I don't want to find another alien. I like my aliens, but I'm stressed. Everything is so stressful, and I'm stressed. I don't like new people coming in. I don't trust them.
Have a drink. Or 6.
Did Kyle never know he had an uncle?
In retaliation for Jim getting me the Lockhart machine.
You can't blame yourself for everything Jesse Maines did.
No.
Father,
There is a whole world of people trying to do that.
I would keep you away from this life and all of the consequences that come with it.
At the end of the day, it's Kyle's choice. Oh, Alex, tell Michael that this is happening.
You and Michael, you're still caught in your father's shadow.
Oh, Alex.
This is a battle, not a war, and we're not going to make it to the end of this if
I know. That is so true. But we don't know how much time we have.
What you want for yourself.
Isabel does need to work that out.
Taking mine to go, Maines.
This isn't a violation of trust.
Alex.
Out of concern for you.
He's not been home because he's working on that machine. It's in his head and he's driven to it. He hasn't been home in days. Oh, I'm so fucking stressed. That was one way to make it more dramatic, and this is another way to prove that you're really glad you're not dead.
My research, all of it, it's gone.
Heath, Jones on Heath.
Do you think generics could exactly
But
what you should do?
it's.
When I learned my father was part of this alien thing.
I will very much listen to you, Kyle. I'm very glad you're up and around and alive. It's Kyle's choice at the end of the day, and the situation he is in is quite different to the one Jim was in the sense that he has he's friends with these people, that they aren't currently being held prisoner by anybody, that they are free living their lives, that his human friends are just as entangled in that. Yes, Kyle may choose to leave, although I hope he doesn't, and I don't think he will, but it's not the same circumstance. Jesse Maines is gone. There may be other threats in the future. Yes, of course there will be, but right now everyone is living their lives and fighting for the chance to keep doing that. And it's Kyle's choice what he wants to do with his life. You have chosen to abandon your family and scurry away to Deep Sky. Now, I do think you probably, by the sounds of it, you do seem trustworthy. You've been doing a lot of good there, but I think just you can give Kyle advice. You can't push him into it. And you were happy to keep Alex at it just because he's not your kid.
I want to do this because this could be part of my story.
Yes, Kyle!
I choose to walk the same path, but better than him.
Yes, Kyle. This is our mantra. Can you go and see Alex though, because I feel like he may need medical attention.
I need a cell trace on a POI.
Oh, Max is going to get in trouble for this because he's illegally doing it.
How much do you know about this guy, Heath? How close were you?
What if he was... Is Heath the other alien?
Possible that he took your one. I think you came out here looking for a partner and it could blind you.
Liz, sweetheart. Okay, I'm going to get back to the fight in a minute, but Liz, it's just... Even the smartest, most kind, wonderful people could be taken advantage of. Now, hopefully Heath was not taking advantage of you. Hopefully he really was the good guy we all thought he was. But there's no, like, someone conning you when you're in an emotionally vulnerable place, which he was, isn't... It's possible. And, oh, I just want them to get... Thing is, they will work through this. It's fine. Oh, be careful, please, sweetheart. I love him so much, but that's not a good thing.
I was hoping we could skip the awkward staring and get to the part where we help Alex.
You've not been paying attention to the person you've been protecting, and you promised you would protect.
Protocol to work on the machine that has a built-in siren song. Are you telling me Alex has been exposed to the machine for 2 days straight?
Yes! Now, move. They were going to go on their first in-person public in front of everybody day.
Because you see, I am a facsimile of a human.
No, you're not, my love, and you were finding yourself.
Most important meal of the day. How'd you take your Gregory Maines?
Too early.
that hard-boiled Greg. Taking mine to go, Mains.
It's her new move. And her new catchphrase.
So you're still... We gotta go.
Holy shit.
And
And she's getting more frayed, which shows his mental state getting more frayed.
And I made sure that not one of them touched Michael.
Bless your soul, my angel. I know. I know. Oh my god.
Talk about this being a metaphor?
Alex! You could fall!
Listening. 2 days ago, you might have known what was real.
Oh fuck, get down from the ledge, please, my angel. Michael, quick.
The greatest fear has been actualized.
Alex, Alex.
Hatred is stronger than your capacity to love.
It's not, my darling, it's not.
I always got you.
Thank you, Michael, for caring and being there. When stupid Eduardo, who was the Eduardo, he was like, oh, I'll protect you. I'll make sure the machines are different this time. All of Alex's anger with him for getting someone himself involved, and it was justified. And I was like, I always got you. You know what I was talking about last episode, that going forwards, the angst isn't over. The drama, the trauma, the scary parts will always be there in this show, but they'll be together going through them, and that is what matters.
Any way you slice it, Mains, our picket fenced yard is gonna hold aliens.
Because I couldn't get the fear of the rocky path we have ahead of us out of my mind.
I spoke to Sanders about the same thing. He said, you don't walk away from a broken engine. You find a way to make it purr again.
Michael talked to Sanders about Alex and his fears about the fact that they're finally together and what if things go. Oh, I love them.
You're here. I am here. Solving a 75-year-old mystery seems like a pretty good first date.
Yeah. I just need a moment. Just like, they deserve this. They deserve to be going through the struggles of their lives together. And so do these two. And they're gonna get there too. It's all fine.
Tape number 4.
Oh.
You just found...
How many times did he listen to these tapes?
About how I knew better, and the whole time your fears were spot on. Okay, he played.
Oh.
No one could have anticipated that.
But here I am at the same crossroads again.
Sweetheart, no one could have done.
Doesn't mean we have to choose the same paths that divided us before.
Exactly.
I swore that I would help Michael be less Michael, like, and that I'd help Isabel find happiness. And then,
Yeah.
you and I could walk on the beach.
Oh. Very cathartic. Look at them. Repairing the stuff Jesse Main's ruined. Together. Always together. Does it work now? Oh.
What are we looking for? Do you want to get a drink with me?
Oh, not right now though.
Oh, hi.
Is he the priest that was talking to Rosa?
Iron Cross restored for them? As a thank you.
Does he know he's an alien?
Buckskin?
Heath!
Yeah, for sure. He was like his best friend.
The patent is registered to the lead geneticist who created it, Heath Tuckman.
He found his best friend who's been trying to save his life.
I mean, trying to save his life, that is one thing. But...
We discuss what I'm sure
oh no.
Partnership.
Oh Lord.
Around here,
They call me Jones.
they call me Jones.
Oh great. Okay, so there is another alien out there. Another alien who was found as a child, alone. They assumed his parents died in the lake with him. And he's the random priest that came to see Rosa. I kind of felt like that guy had to have some relevance because it was weird that Rosa had that I mean, it wasn't weird that Rosa had that conversation, but the fact that it wasn't her normal priest and everything, that did raise flags, but then so much else happens in this show that those flags got like lost in a drawer somewhere. There's another alien child who I guess has grown up and never known anything about any of it. He doesn't even know he was found in a pod in the same way that they did because he came out of the pod and immediately drowned. It is interesting that no one put him with the 3 children found around the same time wandering naked and mute with no understanding of English. I I mean, probably because they aren't the same skin tone. I don't know, but I guess it wasn't the same location. And they assumed his parents had died, but I don't know, maybe you kind of think those kids had come from there. There'd been some like mass parental suicide and the kids wandered off. I don't know. I bet social services were slammed with the 3 other children they found. So I'm glad to see that this guy has found like a loving community, some people that like, it seems as though he probably found like a home to live in, but he got to go to that summer camp, he got a best friend. And yeah, I'm so intrigued about how much he knows, potentially. I don't know that he knows a lot or everything, but he stayed in the area. Heath knew enough to kind of look into them and everything, though I don't know whether they know about aliens, whether they just know he's vaguely from the Roswell area. Maybe if they looked into things, there probably are reports of 3 unidentified children wandering around being found, even if if the names they now go by are redacted, because I know Max said to Sheriff Lenti when she knew who he was, like, all those records are sealed. And I mean, I guess it's not that hard to figure out it was them, especially as they constantly are around each other, refer to each other as family, and have not lived as family at any point, the 3 of them. But does this guy know about aliens? I assume he's a full alien because obviously he was in the water, he was in a pod. There is genuinely that bit of me that doesn't like new characters, that's like, but I already have my aliens. But I am going to try and, like, I see no reason why this guy is evil. He seems very, very kind. He was very kind to Rosa. Heath, again, Heath did use Liz. Heath did lie to Liz. But I think it is a sort of situation where Liz will probably be able to forgive him very easily, in the sense that I feel like she has done a lot of similar stuff herself in trying to help those she cares about, and just in, like, that is something she can relate to, kind of doing sneaky stuff with the science, because you're not entirely sure whether you can trust the other person. I'm kind of annoyed at Heath in the sense that I feel like once they got to Roswell and Liz had her strange illness and then Liz was magically fine and all of that sort of thing, I feel like that's the point where you kind of, even though he was hurt that she'd used him on the, like, errand and everything, but you say to her, like, do you know anything about, like, I don't know, you bring it up because she has these spores that you've never heard of before in Roswell, which I'm guessing is very close to where your best friend was found, and all of that sort of thing. I feel like this would have gone a lot easier if he had just, once he kind of got more and more evidence that Liz probably knew similar stuff to him, or vague stuff to him, if he'd told her. But then I can see why he didn't, because it's not his secret to tell, same as it's not her secret to tell, and there's all of that mess. Heath doesn't seem like a bad guy, which I am glad. Yes, he lied to Liz, yes, he used Liz, but Liz was also lied to him, like, oh, I just found these spores in Roswell, and oh yes, no, I'm ill, but there's nothing wrong with me, you know, kind of, they both were doing that to protect those they cared about. Are these people going to, are Heath and JD going to become, I don't know what his name is now, Father something or other, gonna become regular characters? Maybe, I don't know. Why are they doing the research? Is it research into why he can't remember anything before the age of, like, I mean, was he 7 as well? Because why were all of the alien children 7? I don't know. Maybe he was a little older or a little younger. I don't know. But, like, he can't remember anything before he got in the lake. Is that why? Are they looking into amnesia degeneration? Or is his brain further deteriorating somehow? Is waking up in the water and drowning, like, is he suffering somehow as well? It is definitely fascinating, and I'm very excited. And just like with the reporter, and just like when Heath was in it at the beginning, and even when Forrest first appeared, I have to fight the part of me that's like, no new characters, I don't trust you, I like my people, my family. This is fascinating, and I love that they came at it from 2 different angles and they got there. And of course, Jones got there too, and Heath was still investigating potentially life-saving stuff in Roswell, or at least in the New Mexico area, and if he had just talked to Liz about it, I know why he wasn't, but he also must know what it's like to keep secrets about someone you care about because you're worried. Like, I feel like there were ways he could have, like, kind of said things, and they could have just kind of, like, cheated or danced around it until they were both sure the other one knew something. So yeah, does the preacher have powers? I imagine he does, but I guess he doesn't know about the pod, so he doesn't know he's an alien. Does he think it's like a miracle from God because he's very religious? I kind of don't want religion to suddenly become a huge part of Roswell. I don't think we need that. I think it's such a... it's a topic that this show doesn't need to delve into too much. I'm cool with characters being religious, but, you know, the viewers, you have atheists, you have religious people who wouldn't agree with how it's portrayed, you have different religions. I think, you know, having religious characters I'm okay with, but I don't want to get into too much religion-y stuff. And yes, Jones has Heath. That is not good for anybody, and Heath has read all of Liz's files, and if Max was able to memorise everything, Heath, being a scientist who properly understood what he was reading, and who developed a drug that injected Kyle, that I guess Heath was the one in the house, that was what he was stealing, wasn't it? He wasn't there for the sword, although those two men took the sword, so was Heath working with... Is Heath part of an actually bigger conspiracy too? I don't know. But that is all connected. And I never thought Heath would be connected to the attack on Kyle, but Heath was the one that came up with the drug, and Kyle just had a bad reaction to it. He just meant to, like, knock him out for a bit. And that's why he dug up the... Max's super secret hiding spot. Although... I'm still, how does that then tie into the two random men that had the super magic sword? What, I don't know how all the pieces come together. Did the regiment just come by afterwards and steal it? Was that what that was? But I am intrigued. Kind of concerned that maybe this is going to mean that there are more people aware, maybe more people looking into them than what we've already dealt with. It is interesting to wonder just how many more aliens there might be out there if more pieces of the ship broke up elsewhere. And it's really interesting to me that the children were all in pods until Louise died. It's like almost, on the ship, did she have a specific care over the children or something? And when everything happened, one landed in a pod in the lake, but they were with their pod children, so they kept them. I love that at the very beginning of the episode we saw the moment that Nora killed the Max clone, or the Jones clones, and definitely, I know they were dead when they were in the pod, but it seems as though Jones just grew them to maturity in a pod somehow, and, you know, they were just blank, mindless vessels until he took over. And when they made Max, they tried to give him his own personality. They tried to make sure that there was more to him than just being a blank vessel. I'm guessing they were hoping that he would grow into somebody that they could use to combat the dictator, because he would be him as well. And that must be the problem with him. The problem was the connection to Jones. The problem was that because he had a personality and a consciousness, I guess that's why they connected. So they were trying to sever that as well for the child's sake, so they could get rid of Jones. And I guess child Max felt safe with him because he was him, and I guess it's kind of that. Max and Michael need to have a discussion about how biologically they are father and son, because that is a lot. And while that's really weird, in a lot of ways that kind of could make them like brothers, and then that kind of makes, like, Michael has always had a blood relative who cared about him and was looking out for him. I know Michael has Sanders, and the fact, I'll get to Michael and Sanders in a minute. So yeah, I'm just, all of that stuff, I feel like I probably missed things. My brain is scrambled with all that information right now, but I am really, really stressed and excited about where this is going to go. Obviously, we need to get Max back in his own body somehow. I don't know how we're going to be able to initiate the swap, but if Jones was able to swap them, if we can get a hold of Jones, maybe we could swap them that way. Kyle is up and around, that is everything. Maria is up and around, that is everything. Maria and Gregory are adorable. They really, really suit. I think they bring out the best in each other. Isabel and the reporter, we've noticed sparks ever since they first had a scene together, and like, I am here for that, but I have my weird aversion to new characters, especially new characters that are investigative journalists, and I think from what we've seen of her, she seems like a good person with no ulterior motives, and were she to uncover the alien secret, I don't think she would write a story on it immediately. I think she understands enough about, she's someone that cares about marginalised groups and people that might be hurt and oppressed, and obviously if you publish a story, there are aliens in Roswell, these are their names, they would immediately get, like, abused. So I don't think if she were to find out she would do anything about it, but there is always that tiny danger, like, what if we've misjudged her? She's been in like 4 scenes, if that. So that is stressful, but for Isabel's sake, I'm so proud of her for the fact that she's beginning this journey into discovering who she is and what she wants, from what eggs she likes in the morning to who she wants to be with. And there is someone that she's felt a connection with, someone that if she wasn't a journalist and if Isabel wasn't so focused on the mission, she still deserves that time, and I'm really glad for that, because Michael is making his life, Max is working on his, they all deserve their best. They all deserve a life. And I'm stressed about it, but we'll get there, hopefully by the end of the season I'll feel more confident in trusting her, and I want to trust her, I just, stress. I don't even trust his priest, and he's probably an alien. I mean, almost definitely an alien. Unless some random other child ended up in the pod. And just... I don't want to have missed anything before I get on to Malix and the Kyle, and then, yeah. So Kyle, I am so thankful that he is okay, that he's out of the barn and he's up and at him. I don't entirely know why his uncle was leaving him in a barn, and then when he woke up was like, cool, you can come to the deep sky now. Like, surely he would have either always had him in deep sky or always had him in the barn. I guess he did enough investigating to realise that he didn't think it was anybody from inside deep sky, because that was what he said to Alex, that he was concerned that someone within deep sky was behind it, and now everyone just gets to go back to deep sky. I'm glad for Kyle's sake that he knows he has his family member out there. Rosa deserves to know as well. Someone that knew his dad really, really well. And I am very glad that Kyle stood his ground and was like, you know, you've helped me kind of let go the ghost of my father. I'm not doing this as part of his legacy, I'm doing this for myself. And I feel like in a lot of ways that is a journey Alex needs to continue to make, which is, yes, there will always be a part of Alex because of the atrocities his father and his grandfather and whatnot, because of the atrocities his father committed. There will always be a part of him that will be fighting to right those wrongs. And I think he has done that now, and all that will mean going forwards, I hope, is if he unexpectedly comes across another instance of his father's actions, he will fix that. But I think Alex is in the process of reaching the point of, and that's kind of what he hoped he was doing when he joined Deep Sky, and then of course his boss knowing all about his dad and everything kind of tarnishes that a little bit, was he is involved in this because, just like Kyle, it is his friends and his family, it is his story, it is the man he loves, the love of his life, his soulmate is a part of this story. Alex will always be a part of this, and he will always do everything he can to protect Michael and his family. And to his own natural curiosity and genius wants to continue to explore these things. So for Kyle to say I'm doing this for me, for my story, that is where Alex is and where he's getting to. And I think having a glimpse into Alex's subconscious in this episode, because I think Alex has such a bad, obviously, like for Kyle, up until he found out about later in life about the affairs and everything, he really, really loved his dad. He kind of thought his dad was everything and wonderful, and he wanted to live life by the same code his dad was living by. And I think finding out that his dad not only had affairs, and so like, you don't like that, but he made mistakes, and yes, he was part of the whole experiment trying to help, but he lost himself to it. Kyle is able to realise that he's doing things better, and that is exactly where Alex is getting to. But for Alex, obviously there is an entire childhood of trauma, of wanting that tiny part of him that he struggled with for a long time, I'm sure, of trying to please his dad, and then the part of him that obviously despises his dad, which is the bigger part. Alex is in a much messier situation there, but he is getting there, and I'm so proud of him. And the fact that I think so much of it, what he's done has been to protect Michael. Every step of the way, Alex's primary goal has been, Michael's in danger and I must protect him, and I want to make sure that he's never scared of anything to do with my father and Project Shepherd and everything. But I think the fact that kind of that fear, he's addressed it, it was stood there in the form of Michael's mother and spoke to him, will hopefully help him kind of move through that, in the sense that, of course, everything he's going to do, he's going to want to protect Michael. Michael spent this episode wanting to protect Alex. You know, they will always do that for each other because they are soulmates and they are part of a family that will look out for each other. But Alex can do this for himself, for his own future, the life he's building with Michael, because their picket fence is going to contain aliens. I love that line. And just for Michael, the fact that he brought him food because he knows he was working a lot, the fact that he was checking in on him and, you know, calling him honey jokingly, and just they're together, their smiles at each other on the phone were beyond everything. And the fact that Michael was the only person who was concerned enough to notice that Alex had not left the machine, and he knows him so well to be like, well, yes, okay, it will look like he left, but this is Alex Maines here. If he wants to go and work on that machine without you knowing, he's going to be working on that machine. And for all of Kyle's uncle's, Eduardo's claims to Alex about like, oh, I know I brought you into this machine, even though it's destroyed a lot of people, but I won't let it destroy you. He then just let it destroy him. He was not looking out for him in the slightest. He was like, oh, I checked the tape once. Go down there to his office and check. So the fact that Michael willingly walked into a secret laboratory to save Alex. I know it's the place that Alex works and that Alex has told him he trusts the place, but regardless of that, Michael Guerin, an alien who grew up terrified with his siblings that he was going to be taken into a secret lab and experimented on, willingly walked up to one with a stupid message on his shirt to get in. And yeah, like, that shows you how much he loves him, and the fact that he knows him so well to know, well, yeah, it's Alex. He'd have done XYZ to get in there, come on. And just, yes, everything. Seeing Alex lose it was very stressful. Seeing it was the machine in his head, we know that. Seeing the way it twisted his worst fears about himself, about never escaping his father's legacy, about just when he thinks he's done it, something else is looming, and that's going to be something that's going to destroy Michael, and all he wants to do is protect Michael because he loves him, and having it be in the form of Michael's mother, and hearing him even saying that, like, he's so terrified that this machine's going to hurt Michael somehow, and it will be Nora's fault at the end of the day, and Michael puts her on a pedestal, and he wants Michael to be able to put his mum on a pedestal. Like, just how much that man loves his boyfriend is beyond everything. The fact that they had planned a date that they were going to go on in public, I was like, trying in between episodes, I was talking a lot with my friend Sarah, and we were like, you know, I'm not going to get too hopeful, you know, maybe they're just going to take things really casual. They were going to go on a date together. That, just seeing Alex lose himself was very, very distressing. Knowing Michael was there and Michael was coming was literally everything. And it was just the way Alex's own subconscious attacked him over Michael, over having lost his leg and not being complete, over just that fear that his father there will always be another domino, there will always be something else that his father did that will be looming, threatening Michael, threatening him. But the fact that Michael was the one to pull him off the ledge, and then when he said, I've got you, I've always got you, that is everything. That is everything. That is what I'm saying. And I want Echo to get there too, that happy couples don't ruin shows. So having two people that are deeply in love being together does not ruin a show, because they can have angst, they can have miscommunications, they can have an argument here and there, one of them can get in really big trouble and the other one's trying to help you. You know, you can still have all of the same angst and terror and plot lines you have, just while they are going through those plot lines, they love each other and they tell each other that. That is all we want as shippers, as people that happen to ship. And you know, I would love this show even if I didn't love the relationships, but just Malex is my entire soul, and Echo. If Malex weren't in the show, Echo would be like my favourite ship. I would be like crying about them, because I do love them, and I will be very emotional when they like. Oh, I didn't talk about Echo yet. That'll be what I am with. Just Malex has my soul. That moment was everything when he said, I've got you, I've always got you. And then, you know, the fact that they talk. That is what they're doing now. They talk. Yes, when Alex was under the machine's mess, he didn't so much. But I love that, you know, he straight out just said what he was feeling. He apologised to Michael for not telling him about the machine. He told him what he was going through, and he apologised for that, and saying how, and you know, when he kind of tried to skirt around it, Michael was like, you know, this is the truth. And then, you know, Alex saying that he was just so scared that the road ahead of them was gonna be filled with demons laid by his father and all that sort of, and Michael saying, well, yeah, but we're doing it together. And I talked to Sanders about that. Michael having that relationship with Sanders is beyond everything. Michael finally has like a parental figure in his life, one that he's realised has been watching over him from the start in the best way he could. That is, they're growing sunflowers together. Michael talks to him about his relationship fears. Just, Michael Guerin deserves the world. So that was everything. And then, you know, them going on their first date to fix the Lockhart machine, and it's fixed now. I don't know entirely why they wanted it to call the preacher, the priest, whose name has escaped me. Was he related to Theo? Was he Theo's son? And so somehow he had, through genetic memory, he knew the answer? That could be it. Cannot remember what Theo's dead body looked like because I was so stressed in that episode. But maybe he's Theo's son, and so his genetic memory, he contains Theo's understanding of everything. I don't know. I'm probably reaching into leaps. So Malex were beyond everything, because this episode, you know, Alex was in danger. He was in trouble, and Michael was there for him, and I could die happy. Echo. I adore them so much, and I think they are in a similar place to where Malex had been in previous seasons, and even in this season, to a point where they love each other. That is undeniable. They both want to be together. That is undeniable. But there are still those little hurdles, past mistakes they've both made, that they're working through, and they are getting there, and that is beautiful to watch, just like it was beautiful to watch with Malex. And I think a lot of those hurdles are more recent with them, but they will get there. They need to get there. Liz's passion for science and her desire to learn more, and, you know, her hope in having facilities. That's why I kind of hope Deep Sky could be a good place for Liz, in the sense that she would get the facilities she needs. Is always going to be a huge part of Liz, and Max loves everything about her, and he loves that part of her. But for him, science labs and people finding out about him and his family is one of his greatest fears. So that is always going to be a problem between them until they work through it, and I think that's what they're doing. The fact that they that Max kind of, when she was refusing to believe that about Heath, he kind of was angry, and he was like, you know, just because it's your blind spots and rah, rah, I'm angry. Like, I mean, he wasn't that angry, but, you know, you have to consider this. And then when Liz was like, I'm considering this, I'm a terrible, look at this terrible trap I've fallen into, I'm awful. And Max was like, you know, that's not true. Like, we're gonna work together. We're gonna do this together. And then reminiscing over the mixtape tracks he picked, and him buying her the milkshake things they were gonna have, and him having the snow globe. That was everything. I think they're going in a really, really positive place, and I think going forwards, they are going to be just fine. They are getting there. They are being honest about their feelings, and they're doing what Malik's are doing, which is they're starting to be really honest. If the other one does something that they don't like, that hurts them, or that, you know, makes them angry, they say, that makes me angry. I think you're falling back into old traps. I think you're doing this, and that is necessary. Communication is healthy, and I think this season could potentially end, or at some point those two will get into an ocean, aren't they? So I'm happy about that as well. I really love the thing Max said about when he realised he had his second chance, that he was going to be in everybody's lives. He wanted Michael to be less Michael-y, and by that I don't think he wants Michael to not be Michael. He means he wants Michael to stop self-destructing. He wants Michael to be true to himself and not self-destruct everything. And he wants Isabel to find out who Isabel is, and we all want that. She deserves the world, she deserves happiness, and I really hope that in a season's time I'm going to be just as happy about her and her relationships as I am about the others. And he wanted to be with Liz, he wanted to patch things up and be there for her and help Liz be the best person of herself and hopefully be with her. And I adore that so much. Isabel, just briefly touching on her, and I talked about her earlier, but it's so sad when you think of her that all of these kids, I know that they're like 30 now, but you know, all of these they were kids. They really struggled with being different from everybody else, with having to hide that. And it seems as though with Isabel, there was a combination of kind of being part of a family that were that kind of weird, perfect, polished, put together family. You know, they adopted their two little children, their perfect children, and, you know, they didn't adopt the one that might need a little bit of work, even though they picked the one that actually hadn't drawn on the walls, etc. You know, we don't eat breakfast, we maintain our waistline, all that kind of parenting where there was no harm meant, but it was very much kind of, we are the perfect family, a little controlling, a little kind of, as much as I'm sure they love their parents, you don't ever see Max or Isabel turning to them for comfort, turning to them as the primary source of everything. You know, you kind of think at some point they would have told their parents they were aliens, but they never did. So she kind of wasn't truly herself at home. And again, that would partly be because she was so terrified that everybody would find out what she was and what her brothers were, and that she would lose herself. And then with Noah, she just tried so hard to fit in, and so that's why she kind of became that, I'm the perfect popular girl, and, you know, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to be perfect and fit in. And now she's being herself, and she's letting herself not be perfect, and she's figuring out who she is, and I'm here for it so much. I adore this show so much. Every episode, if that is possible, I fall in love with it more. I am very stressed. I'm kind of at that point now where I'm like, Heath's in danger, and, you know, that doesn't make me feel happy. I don't feel warm and fuzzy about that, you know, that makes me feel very stressed. But given that we've had episodes with Maria in danger, and Kyle in danger, and Alex in danger on the puzzle, Michael and Max and Liz, I mean, Max is technically in danger because he's in a body that's deteriorating, but they don't seem, that's not like imminent. So hopefully that will all be okay, and we can swap them back and Heath will be fine. I am very excited for the next episode. I'm still stressed. And yeah, I love the show so much. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon. Thank you for watching.